Imagine being a key witness in a massive corruption trial involving millions of dollars and powerful figures only to completely vanish days before you were supposed to testify. That's exactly what happened in this strange and disturbing case, and it has left investigators scratching their heads for answers. The year was 2009, and the location was the city's bustling 30th Street station, a hub of activity with countless people coming and going every day. It was here where authorities discovered a car that belonged to Dr. Barry Emstra, a respected cardiologist who had been scheduled to testify in an upcoming corruption trial. But there was something deeply unsettling about this discovery. The car was covered in blood, suggesting a violent struggle had taken place. To make matters even more perplexing, Dr. Stratton was nowhere to be found. Days before the trial commenced, his absence sent shockwaves through the legal community and beyond. The prosecution's arguments lacked the crucial medical insight that Stratton possessed, leaving them grasping for alternative strategies. On the other hand, Brown's defense team seized upon the opportunity, using Stratton's absence to sow doubt and confusion in the minds of the jury. Every day that passed without Stratton's testimony brought the risk of the case falling apart. For the defense, it was a glimmer of hope, albeit a fragile one, to exploit the prosecution's weaknesses. The prosecution, desperate to salvage the case, made a last-ditch effort to secure Stratton's testimony. In the depths of his private chambers, they stumbled upon a hidden room filled with compromising material that linked the esteemed cardiologist to the very corruption he was supposed to expose. It was as if a Pandora's box of deceit had been unleashed, shattering the image of the upright witness and plunging the case into further chaos. The revelation of Stratton's own involvement in corruption sent shockwaves through the community. Despite the best efforts of the prosecution, the absence of his testimony proved too detrimental to overcome. While the immediate impact of Dr. Stratton's disappearance may have subsided, its echoes continued to resonate through the halls of justice. The unanswered questions and unresolved doubts serve as a constant reminder of the need for transparency, accountability, and unwavering pursuit of truth. As we reflect on this enigmatic case, let us remember the importance of upholding the principles that safeguard our legal system. Let us honor the memory of Dr. Stratton, not just as a witness lost, but as a symbol of the challenges that lie ahead in the ongoing battle against corruption and injustice. The corruption trial against William H. Brown, Jr. ended in a hung jury, leaving the charges of bribery, fraud, and abuse of power hanging in the balance. The elusive businessman and politician escaped justice, slipping through the cracks of a compromised legal system. The repercussions of Dr. Stratton's disappearance reverberated throughout the community. Trust in the justice system was shaken as questions arose about the integrity of witnesses and the effectiveness of law enforcement. The elusive nature of Dr. Stratton's vanishing act left an indelible mark on the collective psyche, serving as a cautionary tale of how quickly the scales of justice can tip. The man who had been hailed as a beacon of integrity was now exposed as a perpetrator of the same corruption he was meant to fight against. The moral outrage was palpable. How could someone entrusted with upholding justice be complicit in perpetuating it? They sent a team of negotiators to his home in the hopes of persuading him to return. Acting on a tip from an anonymous source, they descended upon a secluded farmhouse where they unearthed a secret laboratory. His meticulously crafted public image lay in tatters, exposing the darkness that had lurked beneath the surface. Driven by a thirst for wealth and power, he had willingly entangled himself in a treacherous game of corruption, sacrificing his principles and jeopardizing the lives of countless patients. The once celebrated cardiologist now stood exposed as a symbol of deceit, his legacy forever tarnished by his own insatiable desires. Within its confines, they found evidence that pointed to a sinister plot involving Dr. Stratton, the missing witness. The walls of that laboratory held secrets that threatened to shake the foundations of the medical establishment. The esteemed cardiologist was implicated in a conspiracy that reached far and wide, exposing a network of deceit and betrayal that had been concealed for years. The gravity of these revelations sent shockwaves through the community, leaving residents questioning the very essence of trust and integrity. But their efforts were met with a deafening silence. The house was empty, offering no answers, and raising more questions. Where was Dr. Stratton? Had he fled, or worse, had foul play taken hold? The absence of any sign of a struggle suggested that Stratton may have willingly vanished, leaving behind the impending legal battle. And for the public, it was disheartening to witness what seemed like a chink in the armor of justice. The repercussions of Stratton's disappearance extended far beyond the courtroom. The reputation of the legal system itself was at stake. If Brown managed to evade justice, it would send a chilling message, suggesting that corruption and influence could prevail over the rule of law. The very foundations of society, built on the principles of fairness and accountability, trembled in the face of this unfolding drama. The public's trust in the judicial system was hanging in the balance. People yearned for justice to be served, for the corrupt businessman to be held accountable for his actions. The absence of a key witness threatened to undermine years of investigation and build up evidence. The dedicated detectives, prosecutors, and lawyers who had worked tirelessly on the case were faced with an uphill battle. They had to scramble for alternative strategies, trying to piece together Stratton's testimony from other sources or find new experts to analyze the evidence. They painted a picture of uncertainty, suggesting that without the expert testimony, the charges against their client were unfounded. The defense attorneys skillfully exploited the void left by Stratton's disappearance, casting aspersions on the reliability of the prosecution's case. The implications were profound. Without his testimony, the prosecution's case against William H. Brown Jr. risked falling apart. The corrupt businessman and politician, with his web of deceit and influence, could potentially escape the long arm of the law. The mere thought of such an outcome sent chills down the spines of those who yearned for justice. His disappearance had left a gaping hole in the case, raising questions that continue to echo through the corridors of justice. It was a bizarre scene that unfolded in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. As they scrambled to locate the missing witness, the trial proceeded without him, its trajectory now uncertain. The wheels of justice seemed to grind to a halt as the prosecution struggled to navigate the complexities of the case in the absence of Stratton's vital expertise. The absence of a key witness in a high-profile corruption case is a devastating blow. The carefully constructed case against William H. Brown Jr. teetered on the brink of collapse. Without Dr. Stratton's medical insights, the prosecution's ability to weave a compelling narrative was severely compromised. The intricate web of deceit and corruption that Brown had spun was proving difficult to unravel. The charges of bribery, fraud, and abuse of power hung in the balance. Your support means a lot to us and helps us continue delivering captivating content. He held a prestigious position in society as a successful cardiologist, a beacon of health and healing in his community. But, as fate would have it, he found himself entangled in a web of corruption that threatened to tarnish the very fabric of justice. The case that he was due to testify in involved none other than William H. Brown Jr., a prominent businessman and politician whose shady dealings had come under the scrutiny of law enforcement. The stakes were high and the trial promised to be a showdown between the forces of good and the clutches of corruption. Now let's delve into the perplexing mystery of Dr. Barry M. Stratton. As an expert witness, he was poised to shed light on critical aspects of the case, potentially tipping the scales of justice in favor of the prosecution. His medical expertise was deemed invaluable, holding the power to expose the truth behind a series of complex medical procedures that were at the center of the investigation. With the trial date looming, anticipation reached fever pitch. The courtroom was set to become the battleground where justice would either prevail or corruption would triumph. All eyes were on Dr. Stratton, hoping that he would deliver the crucial evidence needed to bring the corrupt to justice. Before we dive into the details of this enigmatic case, we kindly ask you to support our work with a like. Barry Stratton was not just any ordinary citizen. In the lead-up to the trial, Dr. Stratton's testimony was eagerly anticipated. However, in a shocking turn of events, Dr. Stratton mysteriously disappeared. As the trial commenced in Stratton's absence, the absence of his testimony created a void that threatened to derail the entire case. Meanwhile, the authorities were left in a state of disbelief and urgency. As the trial dragged on, the pressure mounted on law enforcement to find the missing witness. The emotional toll on all involved was immense. For the prosecution, it was a gut-wrenching experience to watch the case they had so meticulously crafted fall into jeopardy. As the trial entered its second week, tension reached a fever pitch. In a shocking twist, when investigators delved deeper into Dr. Stratton's life, they uncovered a secret that defied their wildest imaginations. The investigation took another unexpected turn when the authorities discovered a trail leading them to a remote location outside the city. As the investigation progressed, the portrait of Dr. Stratton became increasingly distorted, revealing a man consumed by greed and desperation. In the final analysis, the disappearance of Dr. Stratton cast a long shadow over the case. The case remains a haunting reminder of the fragility of the legal system, urging society to remain vigilant in the face of corruption and deceit. If you liked the video, please leave us a comment below. We'll see you next time.